How's it going, guys? Back again here with another one for you. So, if you follow the manifestation or the reality creation, that spirituality space at all, you'll probably have heard this idea come up as of late that you need to be bad or be willing to be bad in order to effectively manifest something. Now, that's what we're going to talk about a little bit here. Like, what does that actually mean that you need to be bad in order to get what you want or get where you want to go in life? Now, the the big thing is that it's not about being evil or malicious or anything like that. Okay, the idea of being bad is you'll often see it in quotation marks. Is it's basically that you need to be willing to move away from social acceptance, because social acceptance, it creates such a narrow bandwidth of things that you can or can't do, can or can't say, and like can or can't even think. All right. And on the topic of sort of this willingness to be seen as bad, that's more what it is. The willingness to be seen by others and not necessarily accepted by them. Really good book on this topic that I don't hear talked about very often is this one here. Thick Face, Black Heart. All right, the warrior philosophy for conquering the challenges of business and life. Now, really quick, because the title Thick Face, Black Heart sounds intense, okay? But what it means, at as the author she explains, at an elevated level, is to have thick face basically means that when you know your dharma or your purpose or your path and you're going after it, you are going to face criticism, right? The more authentic and unique to you, the more likely it is that you're going to run into some people who don't really agree with it, don't like it. And so thick face is basically, it's like having the ability to weather the hits and keep moving. And black heart basically means that even though you know that living your purpose might cause some people um, mostly emotional harm, mental or emotional harm, okay, you move forward anyways, which, from the perspective of the person that might be saying, why are you doing this? I don't get why you're doing this to us, right? They'll try to make it about them. It looks black hearted, but Thick Face, Black Heart, yeah, it's a great book, and it teaches a lot about having this sort of spiritual toughness to keep moving forward on your path. And it's not just about that. That's like the central core theme that the book is built around. It's really just a fantastic book to explore different aspects of spirituality from all different traditions she pulls from, and how the wisdom applies to living that path of purpose and dedication. All right. And so, looking at this social acceptance, like, let's break this down a little bit more. We as humans, we have a few different levels that we seek social acceptance from. And the first is, like, there's that evolutionary sort of primal level where I'd say once upon a time, but still somewhere out in some places out in the world, and even, even anywhere you find humans, really, there is going to be some degree of needing to rely on one another for survival. And that was just made abundantly clear when things were in a more primal time, because it could mean, like if you got exiled by your group, then that might mean death that very day. Okay, you may not see food again, you might get picked off by a predator, the elements, whatever. Another layer to this idea of uh, being able to move forward without social acceptance is is the social level. All right, so that might mean having to stomach some potentially harsh criticism or rejection. All right, and then the last level, which is sort of you'll only touch on if you're into esoteric topics and metaphysics and the like. But there's an energetic thing that happens between human beings. Okay, sometimes it's called an egregore, sometimes it's called a pendulum. All right, there are these cultural monoliths, these ways of thinking and behaving, right? That every group has it. Religions have it, corporations have it, countries have it, political parties have it. Anytime you get groups of humans thinking and acting in the same fashion, on the subtle planes, you will get a sort of collective thought form being that is the mass of the mental emotional energy all moving in resonance amongst all the people. If that grows enough over time with the number of followers, they can these egregores, these thought form beings can take on a life of their own, an intelligence of their own. And basically it's like a game of mind control. It's groupthink. You get everyone plugged in, and then like drones, they all start parroting the same thing, and then acting in opposition to that, or not even in opposition directly, but just acting differently if you were once seen and expected to be part of that group, can have dire consequences. There are places in the world where you'll be straight up killed if you don't adhere. So it can be tough. It takes courage. It takes thick face, black heart to move forward on your path of purpose, to live your dharma despite whatever rejection or criticism might come your way. And so what do you do? All right, like the worst thing to do is to get into battles with people. So you don't have to fight for it. All right, you may have to draw boundaries, you might have to stand up for yourself, but don't get into direct conflicts with people as if fighting them is going to get you. Have the right to choose the direction you want to go in if you so desire. So the biggest thing to do is to sort of reduce the amount of emotional importance that you ascribe to those people and their acceptance and their way of being. It's not easy, but you have to turn down the volume there. Okay, you have to, so that you can maintain emotional equilibrium. A lot of times if you maintain your own center, your own emotional equilibrium, then even when people try to come at you, they don't have a lot to plug into. So they look for the feedback. They look for you to throw blows back at them, and you don't. And so then um, either it things calm down, or they leave you alone altogether. But once you've done that, once you've reduced sort of the level of meaning that you're putting on that acceptance, okay, you make peace with what it's going to cost you. All right, if you reach the end of the road and you look back on your life, will it have been worth it to choose maybe the acceptance of family over something that in the depths of your heart you knew authentically was yours to do? A lot of people would say no. That's the kind of regrets that some people reach the end with. So make peace with the cost. Okay, it'll cost you something to be seen as bad, or to if only the cost is that social acceptance. So make peace with that. Remove guilt. And by that I mean remove the guilt that other people can sink their claws into you with and make you feel guilty, and then they'll use that as a manipulation tactic. So make peace with what is going to cost you. Okay, have no guilt about it. All right, and then just keep putting one foot in front of the other courageously. All right, and then here the amazing thing is, after you get where you want to go, many people who might have thrown shade will turn around and say, "Wow, you did it, amazing." And then it's up to you whether you want to still associate with them at that point. But give people some grace. A lot of times it's just their own fear of having the courage to step out past the bounds of social acceptance, and that's why they might attack. Maybe they're plugged into the to an egregore, and it's like that collective is speaking through them, and they're unconscious. They don't really know why they were so triggered by you going your own way. um, and then seeing you complete that little complete that journey, complete that hero's journey, it might inspire them, and so then the inspiration might cause them to seek you out. Whatever. Point is, have the courage to live your path despite what others might say.